This little bad boy right here has to go on my shirt again. Welcome to the superpilotish channel. My name is Graham Wilson, and today in my basement, I'm going to be sewing this button that fell off a while ago on my shirt. And I will show you how to do that. It's not rocket science. You get it, and then you put it where you want, and you get like a needle and a thread, and you go back and forth and back and forth. You're done. Okay, bye. Thanks for watching. So, most people they give up watching the show after about, I don't know, like 10 seconds, 15 seconds. Just show me how to put the button on. Well, whatever. Do what you want to do, man. Yeah, so this was the shirt I was wearing on my other show, and I noticed I was down to my last Hawaiian shirt. This was it, and then I did some laundry. Oh wow! Hey, I never even noticed. They got like some backup buttons on here. Sometimes shirts have that. I never noticed that before. Looks like even if I was unlucky and lost this one that was on the floor over there, I would have had a backup. That's pretty cool. All right, so where am I going to sew this puppy on? Okay. I guess what do you need for this? You are going to need a sewing kit of some description. So where do you get sewing kits? Look at this one. It's got the fancy plastic little design on it. Look at that. That is a pretty sweet sewing kit. So where do you get sewing kits from? Your mom. This one actually, this is my girlfriend's sewing kit that she got from her mom. I also have a sewing kit myself. When I was a bachelor man, it's still around somewhere, and just in case I become a bachelor again, but let's hope that doesn't happen. So I need a needle and thread. So in your sewing kit that you got from your mom, look at this. I bet you this is, how much was that? $3.99. I don't know how old that is. You see that? Yeah, $3.99. Bet you that's a lot more than that now. So you need some sort of a needle. What type of needle, you say? And I say a pointy needle. Who cares? As long as it goes in. And then this is like some leftover cheapo, but I'll use the leftover cheapo, I guess. And which one looks good there? Maybe let's go with this one here. I think they're all about the same. And I'm sure there's some way of doing it where, you have to use this for this and this and this. I don't know. Hey, Daniel and Brian's here too. Hi, guys. So, what color should I use for this? The other buttons looks like it's kind of a dark brown, chestnut, almond. I don't know. It's dark brown. Yeah, let's see if we got some sort of brown. Oh, that's kind of shiny brown. Oh, that's kind of like a dark brown. Ooh, we got this other one too. We have to be absolutely perfectly color matched here. You know what? I'm going to use that brown right there. There we go. Boy, and if you, I don't know, I don't even really care too much about what color thread I'm going to use. It's just like, man, I'm not. I'm all domesticated here around my house. I'm not out to impress anyone anymore, but well, a little bit. But anyways, let's do. Okay, the hardest part if you got the old eyes like me, how am I gonna thread the needle? Well, there you go. So I just busted off some thread. How much? I don't know, like that much. and, and then just like they do on TV, but I've done this quite a few times before. The reason you kind of stick it in your mouth and you get a little bit wet, you want to make it nice and pointy if you've already shredded it. And let's see if I can get it through here. Oh, the old eyeballs are old today, boy. Woo. Good thing I got my bifocals. Are my bifocals working here? Did I get it? No way. Did I get it? No, I didn't. Okay, so this is probably one of the hardest parts. Sonny, this is how you're supposed to get the thread the needle. Holy crap, this is way easier when I was young. Oh well. Come on. All right. Let's see if there's yeah, they have these other little needle threader thingamajigs that I don't know. Man, okay. I gotta take off the old specs here and get the old and the lighting in here is weird too. See, it's kind of like when you're old, you get better at excuses. It's like when I land an airplane, I used to always just blame my bad landings on, oh, that was a gust, or oh, I haven't flown this type of airplane in a while. That's why that landing was a little rough. But I don't know. So you get more creative in your excuses as you get older, and oh man, this is wild. I haven't done this in a while. Okay, did I get it? Oh, got it. Sweet. Okay. One, get the lottery ticket out here today, boys. I'm getting lucky. All right. We got it. See, that only took that was just because I haven't done this in a while, and this is usually like women's work, so guys just don't do this. Although I was thinking about that, how sewing was always like women's work and stuff, but yeah, there's a lot of tailors out there, and there's a lot of guys make all your leather shops out there and stuff, making boots and belts and stuff. That's usually done by guys, so it's like this is a pretty manly art we're doing here. All right, so now what I'm doing is I'm tying a whole bunch of little knots in here. In the end, I guess I should have explained that. Yeah, I was just doing it. All right. So I tied a bunch of knots in here. I don't know if you can see that. So it's like a little lump. And so it's doubled up. So you can do that. All right. Paying attention here, kids. Okay. So you put that little knot there so that when you pull it through the material, it gets stuck on the knot. And you just keep jamming it in and wrapping it around. Okay, so the button. Where to put the button? It has to be exactly, perfectly perfect. And I was even thinking about like how to place it. Now this one here, it's got the two little eyes in the button there. I think they're called eyes. Some of them have four. This one just has two. So my job's half as easy today. So that's cool. And yeah, so it looks like whoever made this shirt, they had the eyes in the vertical, up and downy, vertical way of doing it there. Oh, Mona Moore's here too. That's great. Okay, right. So I will keep them in the vertical position, uppy, downy, vertical. Oh, you know what? If I want to make that exactly in the middle between these two, I'll just fold it in half between button to button. Yeah, I never thought about that till now. So it's got to go somewhere there. All right, cool. And we're just going to jam her through the back. And this is going to be the most precise. Sometimes you can see where it was before. I can't really see it on that one. All right, let's fold her in half. This is the most exciting show on the YouTubes right now. I'm going to take a best guess that it's going to go right there. And I don't know. I wore this shirt out in public yesterday, and no one said to me, "Hey, man, you're missing a button." So I think if it's a little off, who cares? So there we go. Okay, so I just jammed it through. That's where it's going. Like it or not, that's where she's going now. Okay, so notice how I put it through, and it's holding up just fine because I put that knot in there. Okay. Now we're going to make sure we put the button on the correct way. So it's like kind of flat on one side and kind of indented on the other. So the flat goes to the back. Zing. Okay, we're going to go there and just make it in the vertical position. And we'll just jam her on. Let's see. I think like the first part getting started, I guess let's see if I can show you this here. First part getting started is that's the hard part. Yeah, so yeah, and then you might be asking yourself, why is he sewing a button on a shirt? And it's because I had no topic today. So it's like whenever I don't have a topic, I just kind of, I don't know. I take care of like chores and stuff like that that I keep putting off and putting off. Oh, did we get that? Is that vertical? Maybe. Okay, so I'm just gonna jam her through the back and through the front and through the front and the back and what do we got here? Just kind of just do it the best you can. Mm-hmm. Yeah, once you get going on a roll here, it's not so bad. That's what they say. That's what the expert on YouTube says. Because I'm in my basement talking on a talking on a computer, that makes me the expert, you see. Okay, here we go. And we're going to just jam it back and forth. Boom, boom. Now I'm on a roll. Here we go. Watch out. Superpilotish is on the roll. Actually, that is if you're on a roll, that actually means something in airplane lingo. It's like when you just started to take off, and they might say, you might tell. I used to always like to tell my students that, especially if we're on at a uncontrolled airport. You want to sound really cool. You say like when you're just about to take off, you'll say like the name of your airplane, Foxtrot, Alpha Bravo Charlie, on the roll, and then the student thinks that's really cool. Like when you get to say Roger and Wilco and all that other fun stuff, on the roll. So it's you don't sound as cool if you're just saying that at the mall or something. Okay. All right, this is getting pretty tight and just jamming it. I actually did watch a how-to video on how to do this, and there's like, oh, you're supposed to go around and do all this other stuff, and I'm just like, okay, that's too complicated. I'm just gonna jam it. So there you go. I went back and forth, back and forth. Look at that beauty right there. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, so and then what I usually do, how many times do you put that around back and forth? I don't know, as much as you want. Not once, but not a million where it's too tight to get in there. So somewhere in between 1 and a million times you do that. And then on the back, you're going to have, there's a big bunch of thread on the back, and you just kind of go sideways, like where that lump is right there. You just kind of go in the side. Let's see if I can do this. Yeah, I just kind of just jam it through the leftovers of the of the thread, and do that exactly 1 to a million times. Not one, over one time, and then less than a million. Now, I did see there was one fancy way of doing this. You got to do like some kind of a knot or something so it doesn't like jiggle out. And that's kind of a new one for me. I think before I was just like, how did I do that? I think I made sort of a knot. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to go through one more million times through the back. Then I'm going to try to do a little bit of a knot here. I saw just a video for about 5 seconds, and they made some kind of a little loopy doop. I think that's what they called it. It was some weird loopy doop knot. Oh yeah, there we go. Just kind of some kind of granny knot, maybe, or something might work. I don't know. Do some kind of a sort of knot thing if you can. How would you do that? I'll go through again and just try to make it kind of loopy doop. And then, okay, I don't know if you can see my little loopy doop here. Okay, and then we're just going to go through there and just kind of pull it in tight like a loopy doop. I don't know. That should work. And then did that a couple times. And we'll just snip this puppy off. Zinc. There we go. So I got that left over. And here we go. One a bouton, as they say in French. We got the button. How's that look? Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. Hey, all right. One button. Is it vertical? It is vertical. Very good. And on the back here, I could probably neaten that up a little bit too. And if it ever comes off again, now I know I can sew it back on because that was successful. And I also know I have my redundancy buttons, as Brian was talking about. Excellent. Okay, chore complete. But like my first year shop teacher said when I was apprenticing, you're not done until you're cleaned up. And so there we go. So the job is not done until you are cleaned up and your tools are put away. And that is how you roll as a professional machinist or sewing dude, tailor. Okay, tools put away. We'll just close that up. All right. Thanks for letting me use the sewing kit there, girlfriend and her mom. So, all right. Then we got like just a little cleanup. Where are we going to put that? I'll clean that up after the show. The show is not done until I put my computer away too. So, okay, that goes out of the way. That was step number 1. Now, and so that was my first little thing that I was going to do. And I'm also going to complain about my tomato because this bad boy, I was watching this. This was the biggest tomato. This is a watermelon beefsteak. A little bit of dirt on there. Watermelon beefsteak tomato. And like, this is a monster, right? Well, it was the biggest one that was on any of my plants. It was it was kind of green there, but it was starting to ripen up, starting to look pretty good. And then some bastard came by and took a nibble out of it right there. Do we have any forensic experts in the audience here? Is that a rat or is that a squirrel bite? I don't know. I'm thinking two great big teeth, like maybe like a squirrel, maybe a beaver. Maybe there's no beavers in Windsor, so I'm thinking maybe a squirrel or maybe a rat. I don't know. Hard to say. I don't like having rats around in the backyard, but they might have to disappear somehow. But squirrels, they're kind of cute. I like to watch them chase each other up and down the tree. So how big is this thing? Oh, this is actually an act. I don't know if I ever showed you this. It's always here, but sitting there behind my during the show. I think this was actually for sewing or something my grandmother used. But the cool thing is that this is the Acme ruler. I don't know if I ever showed you guys that. Acme ruler. Dun, dun, dun. Made in Canada, the Acme ruler. Yeah, that's what the Roadrunner, what was it? The Coyote and the Roadrunner. The Coyote used this to measure the Roadrunner or something like that. But how big is this thing? Let's do an experiment here. So it's kind of oblong. Oblong. All right, what do we got here? What do we got here? We'll make it even with the end. So it's probably about 4, maybe 5 inches, something like that. I don't know how to do that on the camera too well, but so we'll say that's about 5 by 3.5 with a funny looking I was gonna say something there. This is such a great looking tomato, and someone took a bite out of it. That's how big it was, 5 by 3.5. And so, but that's not the end of the world, because I wasn't going to eat this tomato anyways, because you always keep your biggest tomatoes for your seeds for the next year. So this was going to be a seed tomato anyhow. I don't know. I was thinking maybe taking a bite out of it or eating it, or I don't know, something. It's just like, it sucks when some animal comes by and just takes a bite out of your favorite tomato. But that's okay. I'm going to let it get all ripe, all mushy, and all gross, and then I'm going to keep the seeds from it for next year. So there we go. And there's a couple other big ones out there too. And I think this one was like almost right on the ground. So some rat or some squirrel could easily get it, but they don't generally climb up to get it. It's too much of a pain or something. I don't know. Okay, there we go. But so far we got some cherry tomatoes, black cherry tomatoes on the vines, and things are looking pretty good. Already had a few. Oh, we're gonna have tacos tonight, so we're gonna have the chop up a garden tomato for the tacos. Yum. Okay, isn't that fun? All right, so let's see what our comments are saying here too. And okay, and then so Brian here, redundancy buttons, yes. And I don't know if Brian got any other comments in here. Yeah, Brian, I got your message before. Brian just left me a message on my landline, and so might be getting a new lawnmower. Got to call him back after the show. So that's cool. And yeah, what do we got here? So Wrench was saying, Mom uses a needle threader. I don't remember the last time I sewed. Yeah, there's some kind of funny needle threader thingamajig that you do. And do I have a magnifying circle light? No, I don't actually. I don't know, with the old eyeballs, I might have to get one of those. Could be handy. What else we got here? Oh, here we go. According to Google, and Daniel's telling us, roll the thread between the finger and the thumb over the eye. Oh well. Maybe next time we'll figure that one out. I guess I could have Googled that, but I was just like, I can do it. That was probably the hardest I ever looked at trying to thread a needle. Okay. Okay, our engineer in the chat here says, I'm totally in favor of inventing a button stapler and a sewing stapler too. Yeah, I don't know. Yes, I've used staples on stuff before. What did I use that? Tie or something? No, what did I do? Yeah, I've used staples on clothing before somehow, but I forget how. Anyways, let's see what else we got here. Oh, okay, we got a airplane question here. Cool. So, I mean, I'll see what I can answer for anything here. Yeah, so everybody's out at Oshkosh right now for the Air Venture, EAA Air Venture, huge airplane air show, everything airplane out there. So apparently there's a gyrocopter circling on short final, killed the helicopter, should use circle on final to increase spacing. Okay, yeah, I did hear about there was a midair between gyrocopter and a helicopter. Very unfortunate. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, it was it's unfortunate that at the Oshkosh, what is it, Whitman Field or something it's called, that becomes the busiest airport in the world for this week, and just statistically, unfortunately, you're going to have some accidents. You have thousands of airplanes flying in there. If it's half of 1% of something happens, well, you got 1,000, or 10,000. I don't know how many they got there. They got thousands of airplanes. So unfortunately, that does happen every year. And okay, so should you circle on final to increase spacing? Okay, so just at a general uncontrolled airport, if you want to increase your spacing, I would say extend your downwind leg until the other plane is past you or the other aircraft is past you. When it comes to helicopters, that's one of those things, who should give way to whom. So for airplanes, whoever is the most maneuverable has to give way to the thing that's not as maneuverable. So like, say you're in an airplane, you have to give way to a balloon, because a balloon can only go up and down with their little burner, and they just go where the wind pushes it. So it's not as maneuverable. Or like, say, a glider doesn't have an engine, so it can't climb. So it is less maneuverable than an airplane. So airplane gives way to the glider. So in the case of a helicopter versus a gyrocopter, a helicopter can hover. So the helicopter is more maneuverable than the gyrocopter. So the helicopter would give way to the gyrocopter. But the way I saw the video there, the gyrocopter turned and kind of smacked right into the helicopter, which is tricky too, because like once you bank and you turn, you lose sight of the traffic over there. And I was flying the other day, and I had I saw, okay, there's an airplane over there. Yeah, hey tower, I have the traffic. Cool. Then I turned and then I lost sight of it, and it's like, oh, where'd it go? So, yeah, yeah, unfortunately, that can happen. So I would say in this case, at a normal airport wrench, you would extend your downwind, do something like that. Oh, but now once you're getting into the Oshkosh rules for this air venture thing, this is where it gets complicated. They have their own procedures for doing things, whether you're overshooting or you are responsible for spacing things, and then airplanes are a little bit different than the gyrocopters and helicopters and ultralights and stuff like that at Oshkosh. So I'm sure there was some procedure there that was not quite followed, and oops, unfortunately, that can happen. Yeah, it's like life is a risk, and you want to have some fun, you're going to have a little risk. So, but no, just I wouldn't like do anything weird other than a usual rectangular pattern kind of thing, and ideally get on the radio if you're at your own airport. Um, yeah, so hopefully that's a good answer for you. Okay. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, and there was a B-1 bomber is featured at Oshkosh. Uh, there was when I was at in Dayton, Ohio, at the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, like where the Air Force Museum is there. They had like a cockpit of a B-1 bomber there, and you could sit in it. So I did. It was like, oh wow, sitting in a B-1 bomber is cool. And I didn't know about those. They have a stick as a control instead of a yoke, and they have ejection seats. I never knew that until I went to the museum. Who would have thought you could learn something at a museum? Yeah, those are cool planes, that's for sure. All right. Okay. Okay, what else we got here? And yes, you're not done until the paperwork's done. That's true. In aviation, it's definitely true. So that's what everyone was always like, hey, I just got my pilot's license. I passed the test and stuff. Can I take my parents up? It's like, no, there's paperwork to be done. We got to sign off this and do this and make sure you meet it. Yeah, so there's quite a bit of paperwork to be done in aviation, and I have no paperwork to do on my shirt. Where did I put that? Oh, it's back here. Yeah, so yeah, and then I don't know. We used to at this one machine shop I worked at. They would call the paperwork, like at the end of the day, you had to submit what jobs you were working on and how many hours, how long it took you, and stuff like that. So everyone used to call it the lie sheet because it's like, how long did it take me to do that part? Oh, I'd say about 2 hours. Like it might have taken like three, but it took me an hour to clean up though. Yeah, so it's like everything looks all nice, keeping all the quoted job times all correct and everything. And so they always call it. And so someone's filling out their paperwork and they'd say, "Yeah, I'll take your lie sheet and put it in the box." Okay. Oh yeah, thanks, man. Did you do your lie sheet yet? They got any blank lie sheets over here? I don't know if the bosses ever knew about that, but oh well. If the paperwork is done, everything's cool, right? Okay, so that is about it. Today is Friday weekend. Like I said before, I'm having tacos tonight, so that's cool. And with a garden tomato, not this one. I got a couple other ripe ones. Watermelon beefsteaks. My other persimmon tomatoes, they're not quite ready yet, but oh well, it's gonna be good. And yeah, so Friday, so I'll be back on Monday because I do this Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon Eastern. And you guys have a great weekend. Thanks for coming by here, and thank you for watching. Bye.